Alright, today I'm going to talk to you about the Foundation 5 supplement. Okay, so the first thing I should cover is what are the Foundation 5 supplements. So it's made up of, as the name says, 5 supplements. First one being a multivitamin, fish oil, magnesium, vitamin D, and a probiotic. Now, you don't want to just get every run-of-the-mill product of these. There's certain things you want to look at, which is what I'm going to actually cover in this video. So let's start off right from the top with a multivitamin. You'll hear things from companies saying a 1 a day is all you need. In reality, a 1 a day vitamin actually leaves you kind of depleted for half the day. You want to be looking at having a 2 a day multivitamin. And you don't want to be getting something that's in a hard capsule form like Essential. These hard pills, they're actually predominantly filled with a bunch of fillers and lubricants just so that it can get into your body. And if you actually take a look at what it's made up of, it's really low quality ingredients. These hard pills are also very hard for your body to break down and digest and then absorb. So what you end up doing in the most literal sense is throwing your money down the drain, because it's just going to go into you. It's not actually going to get really broken down and then absorbed by your body. It's literally going to pass right through you. On the other hand, with a capsule form, so where it's a powder inside of a little, typically a vegetable capsule of some form, it's going to be much looser formed. There's not going to be all the fillers and lubricants in there. The capsule itself, when it gets into your stomach, it's going to get broken down by your stomach acid, which is going to then release all the nutrients into your stomach and then into your intestines to be absorbed. So when you're looking at these capsules, you want to also take a look at the label. On the label, everything should be disclosed in the amounts that are in there. This way you can make an informed choice on which product to actually use. All of the minerals inside of the multivitamin, so the minerals being kind of like your zinc, magnesium, iron, selenium, all those little trace metals that our body needs. All these should actually be in a chelated form. So what a chelate is, it's where you have the mineral itself and it's bound to an amino acid. So what you'll see in the names, you'll see a lot of names that end with the 3 letters ATE, such as glycinate, citrate, picolinate, taurate. These are mineral chelates. All of these minerals, when they're chelated, they're a lot more easily absorbed by your body. Your body takes a look at them and sees, oh, it's got an amino acid to it. I need amino acids. So that bounding to that amino acid for the mineral, it gets pulled into your body a lot easier. When you look at stuff like an oxide form or a salt form of mineral, your body looks at that and it just sees it predominantly as a bit of an electrolyte, but inside of your intestine, it's just going to pull water to it and it just flows out the other end. Purposes of a multivitamin is to shore up and make sure that you don't have any mineral or vitamin deficiencies. So multivitamins are going to be made up of vitamins and minerals. So although the name says multivitamin, you should also make sure that it encompasses the vitamins, so your vitamins A's, B's, some of them will have C, and also your minerals. So the next foundational supplement that we want to take a look at are fish oils. Now, fish oils come in 2 primary forms. They come as either a gelatin capsule or they come as a liquid. For a lot of people that have trouble swallowing pills, the liquid is going to be the best option for them, whereas for people who just want ease of taking it and have no issue with taking pills, the gel capsule is going to be a lot easier for them. Now, when you're looking at dosing and everything for fish oils and what they're made up of, you want to take a look at the label and see the omega-3, which is what fish oil is very high in, omega-3 fatty acid called EPA. This one is very neuroprotective, so it's very good for your brain, your cognitive function, your nerve system. But the other great thing about what omega-3 does is it helps to reduce systemic inflammation in your body. A lot of our diets are very high in omega-6 in relation to omega-3, so the ratio gets skewed. Anytime that ratio between omega-3 and 6 gets skewed too much with omega-6, you end up with a little bit more inflammation in and around the joints. Where you get a lot of the omega-6s are from your grains, so from your bread type products. Omega-3s, for the most part, come primarily only from fish oil. That's the best source of them for us. Some other things that we want to take a look at is how the fish oil is sourced. You want to be getting it from fish that come from cold waters, and the fish is naturally a little fattier. Norwegian fish oil is some of the highest grade in the world as well. Another big benefit to fish oil is that it helps to improve insulin sensitivity as well as carb sensitivity. So by this, I mean is it allows your body to be more readily able to use insulin to take nutrients and put them into cells, as well as it makes it so that your body is a little bit better at using carbohydrates. Just to make it simple, we're not going to get into anything too complicated with this. So when your body's a little more resistant to insulin and carbohydrates, you end up putting fat on a little bit easier, and then you end up with metabolic issues like type 2 diabetes mellitus. Now, the third supplement that we're going to take a look at is magnesium. This one is vastly underappreciated by so many people. Magnesium is used in over 400 bodily processes throughout us. It's used from everything from heart function, muscle function, digestion. The list goes on and on. It also helps you sleep if you're taking certain forms of it. It helps your body relax, deal with anxiety. There's so many benefits to magnesium that are still being uncovered. Something to really look at when you're getting magnesium is stay away from magnesium oxide. It's, in the most literal sense, a powerful laxative. What you want to look at is things like magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate, taurate, orotate, and threonate. Now, I'm going to make another video to do with what to look for and what to avoid when getting a magnesium supplement, where I'll get a lot more in depth. But for the most part, take a look at the label. If it says magnesium oxide, put it back on the shelf. Find something that is a chelated form, just like I said when it came to a multivitamin. A side effect that can happen if you quote unquote overdose on magnesium is you end up with some loose stools, so you may have a little bit of the Hershey squirts. Supplement number 4, the sunshine vitamin, vitamin D. Vitamin D, although it says that it's vitamin, it's actually a prohormone in our body. It's responsible for helping our immune system. It's responsible for helping to be a part of the formation of our primary sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen and progesterone. So when you take vitamin D and you combine it with cholesterol and zinc, that's the basic building blocks for getting your sex hormones like testosterone. When you're looking at vitamin D, you want to be looking at something that's vitamin D3. The best way to actually take vitamin D is in drop form so that you can actually dose it a lot more simply. But you should be taking vitamin D3 plus K2. The vitamin K helps your body uptake and absorb vitamin D vastly easier, and you don't need as high of a dose. So by reducing the amount that you have to dose with by adding something like vitamin K2 in, it's going to make it so that the vitamin D3 goes a lot further in your body. Something to also keep in mind is vitamin D3 is actually fat soluble. So if you take a whole bunch of it every single day, it can build up a little bit. So you want to actually take bolus doses a couple times a week, as opposed to taking multiple doses every single day. Those large bolus doses will actually serve you better. If you live in a higher northern latitude or a further southern latitude, you're going to be more prone to needing vitamin D supplementation. If you live anywhere in Canada, after the start of October, you're basically no longer able to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight. The reason why you're not able to synthesize and make vitamin D naturally from about October 1st until almost May 1st for those living in Canada is that the sun's coming into the atmosphere at such an oblique angle for us that it's no longer able to actually hit at a proper angle and with enough intensity to actually stimulate any kind of production in our body of vitamin D. UV radiation, although we keep hearing that it's bad for us, we actually still need a certain amount of it so that we can make vitamin D naturally. During the summer months, I suggest people get outside for at least 15 minutes a day with as much skin exposed as they can and soak up the sun. In the most literal sense, let your body soak up the sun. All right, so the fifth and final foundational supplement we're going to talk about are probiotics. Probiotics get a little bit of a bad rap because they're being fortified into other foods. They're being put into stuff like yogurts, milks, kefir. They're being put into foods that sit at room temperature and high temperatures for too long, and they're not actually taken proper care of. When you're getting a designated probiotic, you want to take a look at the label and take a note of the number of CFUs. So CFU means colony forming units. The label will typically be in the billions. You're looking 5, 10, 20, 50, and some products may even have 100 billion colony forming units. So these are actually how many active little bacteria cells are in that little capsule. And then when it gets into your gut, they're allowed to proliferate, and you want them to actually be able to kind of implant themselves into you. These probiotics are actually good for your health. For the vast majority of people, because of our diets and how much stress we're under as a society now, we end up with less good bacteria in our gut and more kind of malicious bacteria. This malicious bacteria can wreak havoc on your health overall, not just your digestive health, but also cardiac health and how your brain functions. They're starting to see relations between certain parts of the autistic spectrum and bacteria in the gut. And they're seeing that some treatments may actually involve using probiotics to change how the gut interacts with the rest of the body. And by doing this, they're starting to see that certain strains of probiotics can actually improve symptoms on the autism spectrum. When you're looking at probiotics as well, there's multiple different strains of them. I always suggest getting a product that has multiple strains, so a bit more of a broad spectrum. That way you're able to actually have more than just a single strain of probiotic in you. I always find when it's a little bit broader, you're gonna have a better overall impact. So that's our foundation 5 for supplements. So just to recap, multivitamin, multi-mineral product, fish oil, omega-3s, magnesium, that wonderful little mineral that's involved in so many different bodily processes, vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, the vitamin responsible for our sex hormones, as well as parts of our immune system, and then lastly, probiotics for your gut. So if you have any questions in regards to the Foundation 5, leave a comment below, send me a message, and until next time. All right, thank you for watching right to the end of this video. If you'd like to see more content by me, click the subscribe button here, and for another YouTube suggested video by me, click here. And if you liked what you saw today, don't forget, click the little like button below. Until next time, Coach Tony, Wrestling Podium Performance.